550 new cases today, the most in a single day since the pandemic began. Multnomah County also took a big step backward. KGW's Catherine Cook explains.
On Friday evening, Governor Kate Brown announced Multnomah County is once again on the COVID-19 watch list. It's a big step backwards after state health officials removed the county from the watch list in August. In a statement, Brown said, "This is a sobering reminder that we cannot let down our guard. We must continue to be vigilant in protecting ourselves, our families, and our neighbors from the spread of this disease." The news comes on another record-breaking day for the state's daily case count. The Oregon Health Authority reported 550 new cases of COVID-19 and 3 more deaths. Multnomah County alone had 135 new cases. In a statement, Multnomah County said it was frustrated the state put them back on the watch list, calling it part of an early response framework that needs to adapt. The statement continued, "We believe the watch list does little to help the county and metro region address the virus more effectively or lift the burden on parents and teachers dealing with closed schools or on businesses struggling with a shuttered or limited marketplace." Oregon's latest daily case count came from more than 8,700 tests, resulting in a 5.7% positivity rate.
That's too high. And that percentage tells us our raising case counts are not simply a function of increased testing.
Dr. Shami Sharif with the Oregon Health Authority says the case surge does not stem from large gatherings, but rather small social gatherings and household clusters. That's when even just a couple families gather together without wearing masks. This week, Multnomah County health officials warned against that very thing.
There is an element certainly of COVID fatigue, and people are eager to be with loved ones and friends, totally understandably. We could probably safely say that we'll probably see an increase following Halloween, knowing that people will want to get together.
It's why state health officials are discouraging trick-or-treating as well as other holiday gatherings this season. Under current models, they say Oregon's hospitals could reach capacity by mid-December if nothing changes. Hospital leaders say, fortunately, we're not there yet.
Hospitalizations have increased over the last week or two, not significantly yet. We're watching those numbers really closely. As of right now, we're in no danger of running out of hospital beds, but that is a really key metric that we keep our eye on.
Bottom line, state health officials say it's on all of us to protect ourselves and each other. Catherine Cook, KGW News.